Welcome students. So in previous lecture we were discussing about the sinusoids. Okay, so what is the sinusoid that we have discussed? In this lecture we are going to discuss about the phasors. Now previously we have discussed that sinusoidal can be easily expressed in terms of a phasor, and as far as electrical engineering is concerned, it is more convenient to work with phasors rather than using a sine or cosine function. Okay, so what is the phasor? So phasor is nothing but it is a complex number, and that can be represented in two terms. The first term is amplitude of that phasor and second term is phase of that phasor. Okay, so let me give you one example. Let's say a voltage signal is given by V of t is equal to Vm cos omega t plus phi. Okay, so one voltage signal is given by V of t is equal to Vm cos omega t plus phi, and we want to find a phasor for this sinusoid. Then it can be written as Vm, which is nothing but the amplitude of that phasor, and angle is phi. Okay, this is the phasor form of a given sinusoidal signal. It can be also represented in terms of an exponential form, that is Vm e raised to j phi. Okay, here Vm is amplitude and phi is the phase of sinusoid. Now we are going to understand how we can find this Vm at an angle of phi, and or we can say Vm e raised to j phi. So a sinusoidal can be converted into a phasor form, either it is your polar form or exponential form or a rectangular form. Okay, now let us consider a complex number z, and that can be expressed in rectangular form as z is equal to x plus jy. Here x is the real part of z is a complex number. Okay, so x is the real part of z and y is the imaginary part of z. Here another term is that which is j, and the value of this operator j is -1. Okay, now this complex number z can also be expressed in polar coordinates or in exponential form, as we have discussed right here. So this complex number can be represented in polar coordinate and exponential coordinate as, if we are talking about polar, then it will be r at an angle phi. In exponential form it is r e raised to j phi, and as a rectangular form it is r multiplied by cos phi plus j sin phi. So either we can say real part is r cos phi plus j r sin phi. Okay, that is x plus jy. Okay, so let me just draw what I am talking about. Let's say a complex number z is given by x plus jy. So here your real x is x, your imaginary x is y. Let me use another ink. Let's say the value of x is somewhere around is given, let's say it is 3, and value of y is given as, let's say it is 2. Okay, so if you find the value of z in a complex plane, then it will look like this. So this is nothing but your vector z is equal to x plus jy. Now you can find the magnitude of this vector, and also you can find the phase angle phi of this vector. Okay, now we're going to discuss how you can find the value of phi and the magnitude of this vector in the next slide. Okay, so easily you can represent it any complex number into its real part and imaginary part. Okay, so that way you can find the value of phi and the value of z. So you can easily convert a rectangular form into any kind of form. If you want to convert your rectangular phasor into this polar coordinates or in exponential form, you can easily convert using this. Now let me just clear you all these things. So here it is. So from previous equation we can write that cos phi is nothing but your real part of e raised to j omega, where sin phi is nothing but your imaginary part of e raised to j omega. Now each representation is normally chosen according to how we can easily find the solution. Okay, for example, as far as addition and subtraction is concerned, it is easy to deal with rectangular form, while we are interested to multiply and divide both complex number or phasor. In that case it is easier to deal with a polar form. Okay, so you can choose whatever you want to use. If you want to use polar form or exponential form or a rectangular form. Okay, now you can easily convert from each phasor form from one form to another form using this formula. Let's say a phasor is given as we are just discussing, z is equal to x plus jy, and if you want to find your value of r, magnitude r and theta z, that is nothing but if it is your z, then the magnitude r and the phi z that we were talking in last slide is your real axis, your imaginary axis. So if you want to find this magnitude of r, then it will be found out by under root of x square plus y square, that is nothing but Pythagoras theorem. Okay, if you want to find this angle phi, so just take the tan phi, you'll have the value which is opposite side, which is y, divided by the side which is next to this phasor, that is x. So tan phi is equal to y by x. So if you want to find phi, then it will be tan inverse y by x. Similarly, you can find the value of x and y if r and phi is given. So x is equal to r cos phi and y is equal to r sin phi. So same way you can find the value of cos phi, then it will be r divided by x. So you can find the value of x. If you want to find y, then sin phi is equal to y divided by r. So just simplify this equation and you can find the value of y, and that will be r sin phi. Now sinusoidal representation in phasor form. So cos phi is nothing but real part of e raised to j omega. Same, sin phi is nothing but your imaginary part of e raised to j omega. Now let's say a sinusoidal signal is given, that is Vm cos omega t plus phi, and we want to find the phasor form for this particular sinusoidal representation. Okay, so V of t is equal to Vm cos omega t. Now we know that cos phi is nothing but a real part of e raised to j omega. So here you can see the cosine term, that is nothing but a real part of Vm e raised to j omega t plus phi only. So this part is nothing but real part of this phasor. Okay, so just to simplify this equation, e raised to j omega t plus phi, then it will be e raised to j omega t multiplied by e raised to j phi. Okay, now Vm e raised to j phi combinedly it is known as capital V, okay, or vector V, phasor V. So in some books you might find that it is denoted as V bar, and that is Vm e raised to j phi. Here I have shown a dark capital V, okay, multiply by e raised to j omega t. So here we can say that V bar or capital V is nothing but Vm e raised to j phi, and if you, this is exponential form, and in polar form we can write Vm magnitude and phase angle phi. So V is thus the phasor representation of sinusoidal Vt, that is Vm cos omega t plus phi. So you can easily find any phasor form of any sinusoidal representation using this method. Okay. Now in other words, we can say that a phasor is a complex representation of the magnitude and the phase of the sinusoidal. Yes. Why? Because phasor is nothing but it contains two terms, that is the magnitude and phase of sinusoid. So if you talk about this sinusoidal representation, then Vm and phase angle phi will be there. The one term is omitted, that is e raised to j omega. So the e raised to j omega is not explicitly mentioned in the phasor notation. You can see it is not mentioned right here. We are just omitting this term e raised to j omega, but it is always there in the equation. So it should be understood that the term is always present and frequency of the phasor is omega. So if you just look at in every sinusoidal function, this term always will be there. So we can just we are neglecting this term, but it means that we are converting a time domain signal into a phasor domain. Okay, let me just briefly introduce what I am talking about. Now, to get the phasor corresponding to a sinusoid, we first express the sinusoid in a cosine form. So let me just give you a way to find a phasor form for any sinusoidal representation. So let me just give you step-by-step process. The first step is, if you are having a sine function or a cosine function, you have to convert it first into a cosine form. This ensures that the sinusoid can be written as the real part of the complex number. Okay, either you can find using cosine form only. In that case, we have to find imaginary part of e raised to j omega, but first we are converting into cosine form. That is why it will be only the real part of a complex number. Now when the time factor e raised to j omega t is removed, whatever is the left, that is what the phase corresponding to that particular sinusoid. Okay, by suppressing the time factor, we transform the sinusoid from the time domain to phasor domain. So here you can see that this is time domain representation, where we can see that a function v of t, it depends on time. Here we are suppressing this factor e raised to j omega t, and that is why you cannot see here the time domain function. Okay, so this is time domain representation of the signal, that is phasor domain representation. So a graphical representation of a phasor is generally known as a phasor diagram. Now let's say, for example, we are going to draw a phasor diagram of a given voltage and current. Here we have shown that voltage and current in dark. Okay, so it means they are phasor. Sometimes it will be shown such like V bar and I bar. Here Vm is your magnitude and phi is phase. Here Im is magnitude and minus theta is phase. Okay, so let me just first draw V bar is equal to Vm at an angle phi. So V bar is this is the magnitude of V having some phase displacement phi. Same I bar having magnitude of Im and having phase displacement minus theta. Okay, so we can say that your current is lagging real axis by minus theta degree, and your voltage is leading real axis by phi degree. Okay, here you can see one term, that is omega, and we were discussing about e raised to j omega, that we are eliminating this term, but it will be always there, because if we are talking about time domains analysis, in that case this omega t will always be there. Okay, so this your voltage sinusoidal is going to rotate with the frequency omega, and the degree will be omega t. But we are converting into phasor, that is why we are assuming that we are eliminating this term e raised to j omega, and that is why we are assuming that your voltage V phasor V bar is the stationary. Okay, if it is rotating, in that case also the phase displacement will be phi plus theta in between voltage and current, because both are rotating at the same frequency. If the frequency of rotation is different, in that case we cannot able to find the phasor comparison of both this phasor V and I. Okay, I think it is clear for now that what is e raised to j omega t and why we are neglecting that term in phasor representation. Now as far as sinusoid phasor transformation is concerned, so any time domain representation can be converted into phasor domain representation very easily, and we have deal with step by step process. Okay, so if you have given that Vm cos omega t plus phi, you can easily convert into the magnitude Vm and angle phi. If it is sin omega t plus phi, the procedure will be same. In that case, you will be dealing with the imaginary term of e raised to j omega, and that will be, or you can just simply convert this sine term into cosine using some trigonometric identities, and you can find that is Vm at an angle phi minus 90. Same way you can find for current also, Im cos omega t plus theta and I sin omega t plus theta. Okay. So let me show you the phasor representation in the form of animation. You can see that as the value of theta is going to change from 0 to 360 degree, your value of cos theta and sin theta is also going to change. Okay, and that is why your phasor diagram is also changing. You can see your phasor right here in a blue ink having the phase angle theta. Okay, so let me just give you for sinusoidal only. So for sine, the value of theta is changing, and same way your magnitude r and theta is changing. Same way, if I just have both of the value of sine theta and cos theta, you can find the rectangular form, and from rectangular form you can convert also into a polar form. Let me just pause this animation and let us take an example where the value of sine theta and cos theta is same, and that will be your theta is equal to 45 degree. So at theta is equal to 45 degree, your cos theta is equal to 0.71 and sin theta is also equal to 0.71. So in phasor form, that will be your r, amplitude of this phasor, and the phase angle will be theta. So you can easily find using this animation the phasor from any sinusoidal. Okay, so this is all about today's lecture. In next lecture we are going to understand the concept of current and voltage with respect to your inductor and capacitor phasor representation, or phasor diagram for inductor and capacitor with respect to current and voltage. Thank you so much.